Here we go. Hey, yo, what it is and what's good, y'all? Welcome back to 280 Plus, the social media podcast where I take the conversations of the timeline and go beyond the tweets, the posts, whatever you want to call it. I'm your host, Los Def, and I'm back here for episode 167, I believe it is. 167. And if you're new to the channel, I'd like you to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. You know what I mean? If you want to chime in and talk some ish, you know what I'm saying? Leave a comment below if you know anybody that likes this kind of content. Hit that share button and let's keep this thing going, man. So how y'all doing today? We are back, man, and obviously fall weather is finally like here. We kind of got a week where it's been really cold. Like this is like I seen somebody post is one of my homegirls. She said this is that warm your car up weather. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, a couple mornings where I tried to start my day, and thinking that I have enough time or thinking I could just leave or whatever. I needed to defrost those windows. You know what I'm saying? For my commute. So, yeah, it is getting cold. Fall, you know what I mean? We're in full swing. Halloween is right around the corner. So it's scary movie time and things like that. So my son, right? I always tell y'all a little update about my son. So one, his football season is coming to an end, right? His football season is coming to an end. His team, though, is ass. Like I ain't gonna hold you. I think they're like 3-4 now. And one of the things that I struggle with, right? Because this is my son's first year playing. So like he don't get the most playing time. Now they have on his team, they have like a varsity team and they have like a JV. So he plays JV, right? And so when he gets to play in those games, he does, I think he does pretty well. And one of the things though, I was a little bit worried about, and because his team won their first game of the season. But like I was watching the game and I was just like, yo, they probably should not have won that game. You know what I mean? They probably shouldn't have won the game. They basically won that game on like three big plays. You know what I'm saying? Because if you know anything about youth football is all about who controls the outside. If you can get to the edge and you can get to the outside, you're gonna win games. You know what I'm saying? So then the way to defend, you have to set the edge. And the thing is, though, when you talk about like, younger kids, my son's 10, they still struggle with setting the edge, you know what I'm saying? And like kind of seeing the field and seeing where the ball is, and they don't really think about setting the edge. And it's like it always comes back to bite these kids where they don't set the edge. And when I say that, it's like, when you have guys on the outside, you have to dictate and you have to set where they can go, and everything has to be basically you want to make them go inside, right, where everybody else is at. If you don't set the edge, right, like just say like one guy comes in and then like he goes too far like inward, right? You know what I mean? He can get beat. Like if we can get around this guy, boom, he's beat. All right, because he's the last man of defense, right? So you cannot get around. You can't let the running back get around you. You know what I'm saying? You have to set the edge. So maybe the edge is here. Maybe the edge is further out because you're trying to drive him into this gap, right? Where basically you're gonna have more defenders. But like if you don't set the edge, he gets to the edge, he's gone, right? So that's what it was. Like we won basically on that. So they won the first game of the season, and then they was losing a lot. Yeah, I mean, they was just losing games. And they got killed probably twice. They got killed of the four losses, they got killed twice. And then they lost by 1 point in one game, and they lost like 6-0 in another game. And so yeah, it's just wild. Like my biggest peeve is the fact that they be trying to throw the ball a little bit too much. Like even younger kids, like the 7, 8-year-olds, they be throwing the ball. And I'm telling you, man, these passes be going like 3 yards downfield. Like these kids be having more interceptions than they be having passing yards. You know what I'm saying? Like I bet you they do. I bet you they do. They definitely the touchdown to interception ratio is like astronomical. You know what I'm saying? Like it ain't no passing touchdowns. But I'm telling you, yards is about more interceptions than yards, I bet. You know what I'm saying? But and it just makes you cringe, whatever. So they've been losing, and one of the things that I said was because my very first I started playing when I was supposed to start playing, and I don't mean it in a way where like, oh, shame on my son, whatever. He just really was not interested and didn't want to play football. I love football since seeing the Little Giants, which did y'all know came out 30 years ago? It was sometime this week in October. It came out 30 years ago. So that was like 94, right? 94 that came out. So I was not even old enough to play yet. I was 6 years old. I fell in love with football because of Little Giants. You know what I'm saying? And then I wanted to watch it and play it, and I was outside all the time playing it. Kids, they might play some football. They don't play tackle as much as we used to. Like we used to really play tackle football out here, like all day. Like we would play all day. But anyway, so I played when I started at 8 because where in my league it was like 8 and 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, right? So I started when I was 8 years old, and you had the guys that are 9 years old, the second year players of that division, right? They call it rinks, whatever. Um, I did get some playing time, but like, you don't really know what, the fundamental, you're learning the fundamentals of the game. And like that's what it was good those first 2 years. But however, what I say is that I play for BYC, right? That's a team in York, York, PA. And I always played on a winning squad. Like I ain't never played a season where we ain't at least make the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about, undefeated seasons, one loss seasons, maybe two loss seasons, but like always a high winning record, always in the playoffs, right? Any year that I played. And so like even when you're young, if your team is winning, right? If your team is winning, it feels good. It's fun. Like it don't matter. Sometimes you want to play, but like and here's the thing, when you are winning and you're blowing teams out, you do get to play. Yeah, I mean like the backups do get to play in those games. But like even when we didn't get to play, like even in my first year, if I didn't get to play, I was not discouraged, right? Because it was like, yo, like we all took ownership in those wins. And I always felt like I always wondered like what it would be like if I played on a losing team. Like it won, I mean, you think like, oh man, I could probably be a better position, I could be a different position, you know what I'm saying? Like I probably could be, something else, a skill position player. Because I was on the line. I was a tight end, but like we ain't really pass the ball like that for pro. They did not trust us to pass the ball like that. But I always wondered what it would be like to play on a losing team. And like I would just imagine like, yo, if you losing every week, like to play, because football is tough, man. Football is a tough sport. To play football and to like go in week out and you losing every week in, week out, that has to be tough. So I feel for my son. But they have like one, I think they won the last two games. I mean, so they was like 1-4, and then we won the last two. I think we can, if we win out, we might have I don't think we have a chance for the playoffs, but I mean, because that's the thing. There's no transparency. Like I don't know where the standings are. I don't know who's better than who, this and that, whatever. But the season is slowly coming to an end. We got about 3 more weeks, right? And then it's gonna be transitioning into basketball. But yeah, man. So that's what's going on, kind of like with my son. But another thing with my son, right? So since it is Halloween coming up, he gets curious. And last year, we started watching like different horror movies. We was watching Saw, right? And people might be like, "Oh my God, like you showed your son Saw? Like you actually showed him that shit?" And yeah, I did. So what? So what? I did. Um, a lot of people though feel like Saul is not scary, and then like he just had, I said this before on the show, but like he does have an understanding that it is fake. He never like confused it to be real or like got nightmares from it or anything like that. Now he's on the streaming services. He's looking and all it's Halloween, so all these like all these scary movies is like being popular again and things like that. So he's like curious, and so he's like, what would I want to watch? And he don't really know. I'm trying to have him watch some of the older stuff, and it's funny because he acting like, oh, that ain't scary. But I'm thinking, but he don't really want to watch it though. Like he's like, oh, not right now, right? So I'm thinking like, boy, you capping. So we did watch a scary movie the other day. So I went semi-modern, right? Because I said semi-modern because it's definitely from my childhood, but it's not the traditional, right? It wasn't the traditional like Freddy Krueger, Jason, Michael Myers, right? Chucky, right? He ain't even watch Chucky. He try to act like it ain't man. I'd be like, man, as a kid, you probably still gonna be scared of Chucky. But anyway, we watched Scream. We watched Scream, and Scream is good. Like it's still a good movie, but it's yeah. When I think about it, it's not as scary as I remembered. Like I remember seeing Scream for the first time, and like just the way that scene was, and because at that time it felt so modern, like it was like the prank calling on the phone. It was, it was the fact that these were teenagers, right? So, I'm saying, and I was 8 years old when that movie first came out, so like, that's the next step for me, like to be, like in terms of like stages in life, like being a teenager is like next. So like it just resonated, and I put myself in those positions, like just thinking like, damn, what would I do if this happened? What would I do if this happened? And when I was younger, it held up. Now it is a little bit more, it's a little bit it's kind of crazy, like, what I mean? It's not as scary though, but it is ridiculous a little bit. And I'm just thinking like, like these were some weird ass kids. And like I don't know, man. Like Hollywood is Hollywood, but like they don't even look like, now I'm looking back, they don't look like teenagers at all. Like none of them people look like teenagers. Nev Campbell, who else was in it? Rose McGowan was in it. Uh, now David Arquette, he was in it. What's her name? Courtney Cox was in it. So obviously they were the adults, whatever. But like all the kids and all those characters, I was like, yeah. Drew Barrymore, like, yeah, I mean, she looked young, but she ain't really. I think Drew Barrymore maybe looked the most like a teenager, but like they all looked like adults. You know what I'm saying? So, but he said he said it wasn't scary. So I was like, all right, we about to turn it up. So like, audience, what is so for? Because again, I think back in the day we ain't have all this stuff with social media, and like it was viewer discretion advised or parental advisory. So you was watching stuff that was like adult, like more mature. Like you was watching mature content with your parents when we was younger. You know what I'm saying? And so now I'm trying to like, all right, yeah, we do safeguard our kids a lot, whatever. But like in general, like people we do, but it's like, all right, we can watch some of this content as long as I'm here and I can explain some things, whatever. So like, audience, what is a movie, a horror movie that I can show a 10-year-old that you think is scary, but like it ain't like traumatizing, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so be it. Matter of fact, no. What is the scariest movie that he should be seeing right now? Like, and I'll go from there. I'll go from there. Give me a small little list, and I'll go from there. Give me what's the scariest movie that my son can watch at 10 years old, right? So leave a comment below. Please leave a comment. I might even make a clip and y'all leave a comment on this too. So tell me, what is the scariest movie I can show my 10-year-old? You know what I'm saying? Tomorrow or tonight. You know what I'm saying? What can I do? Right. Leave a comment below. Leave a comment below. All right. Let's get to the regularly scheduled programming, man. So, we're gonna talk about a little bit about music. We're gonna talk a little bit about we're gonna give a little bit of a headline on some things. We're gonna talk about sports, and then we are definitely gonna be talking about a little bit about Love is Blind, because I'm still behind. I don't know, man. When I think about doing recap and record with Levi trying to cover Love is Blind was like the hardest thing in the world, because watching like watching like 3 episodes, 4 episodes in 1 week's time. You know what I'm saying? And trying to like maybe make content about it. That shit is hard as hell. A new batch has already come out, and I'm like not even finished. I'm not finished the second batch yet. You know what I'm saying? I'm like one or two, I'm like 2 episodes away from I think I need to watch this one last episode and I'm done the second batch, or was that the third? I don't know, but but this new batch just came out and I'm like behind. But I'll talk about what I know and give a little critique on what I know so far. So let's get started. And the big event, right, that happened, what the most recent event, the most recent award show was the BET Hip Hop Awards, right? So first off, one of the things that people kept saying was like, "Where's the promotion? Where's the promotion?" Well, BET is mostly a digital platform now. Like you cannot rely on like I mean, some people still have cable. Some people still have cable, but like people stream BET now. You know what I'm saying? There's a BET app. So if you're in tune with BET, then you would definitely know it. They have been talking about the Hip Hop Awards because here's the one thing: the Hip Hop Awards, the BET Hip Hop Awards is pre-recorded. So this actually happened. It happened October 8th, but it wasn't. It didn't air until October 15th, right? So so people that saying like, oh, they ain't promoted, they do. And the BET Hip Hop Awards is out the same time every year. Regular BET Awards, that's all like the all comprehensive awards, right? That happens in the summertime, right? And that changes a little bit, but it's usually like late June, early July, right? And then the hip hop BET Hip Hop Awards, which is a lot younger than the BET Awards, that comes out in October, and then we used to have the ciphers and all that, and I think they kind of got away from that, but kind of as expected. Who do you think was the big winner in this year's Hip Hop Awards? Well, if you guess Kendrick Lamar, you absolutely right. You know what I'm saying? And to me, it was kind of to be expected, right? So obviously, I'm a Drake fan. I don't hate Kendrick Lamar. I kind of hate Kendrick fans. That's what I realized. I hate Kendrick Lamar fans. I don't just like with sports. I don't hate the Eagles. I have no trouble liking some Eagles. I like Davante Smith. You know what I'm saying? I like I love LaShawn McCoy back in the day. Like there's players that I like from the Eagles. I can appreciate, you know what I mean? It's the Eagle fans that I don't like. So it's not even the fact that I don't like Kendrick Lamar, it's the Kendrick Lamar fans. The Kendrick Lamar fans have definitely shaped this into what it is. You know what I'm saying? So Kendrick Lamar sweeps the awards, right? So like pretty much he won pretty much every single award. Like there's like two or three awards that he didn't win, but he was also like it wasn't his category either. You know what I'm saying? So let's go through the list and see what did he actually win. What did he actually win? So Kendrick Lamar. So best hip hop video. Kendrick Lamar for and of course he's winning for Not Like Us. So he won best hip hop video. I still did not. I still have not watched that video because I heard the song so many times. He waited like 2 months to drop this video before, like the song was out for like 2 months already before this video came out, and that's why I was like, I'm cool off of it. I don't need to see it. I already know what's going on, whatever. So I don't, and to be fair, I don't really watch any music videos. I've said this before, but I don't think people will be believing me. Like I do not know what you could take any song in the last 15 years and be like, yo, you see the video for it? 9 times out of 10, I didn't. I did not see the video for it. And even the best song. And I listen to music avidly, but I don't know any music videos. But who did he beat? He beat Central C. So whatever video he had, he beat Meg The Stallion. It's to me, it's hard to beat Meg The Stallion in a video because Meg The Stallion be looking good in them videos. He beat Lotto, which also another girl that looks really good. I didn't even know that Drake had a video for 8 a.m. in Charlotte. So you know what I mean? So, he beat Cardi B 41, which I don't know what 41 is, and then Future for type. How was Future's type shit nominated at all for anything? Like if that came out, it just came out a month ago. You know what I'm saying? So all right, whatever. All right, Kendrick Lamar, Metro Boomin and Future, right? So Kendrick Lamar wins again, but for best collaboration like that, okay. So they beat a Kid Cudi song, they beat a Central C song, they beat Cardi B and Meg, they beat Drake and J. Cole for first person shooter. They beat Meg The Stallion with that one song Mamushi where she's like rapping like with the Japanese guy. They beat Glorilla and Meg The Stallion, and they beat Nicki Minaj. But whatever. So best collaboration, best duo or group. Future and Metro Boom. All right, so that's the one that he did not win. He did not win that because he's not a part of any group. Um, I'll save my critique for the end, whatever. But like Rick Ross and Meek Mill. Remember, they did drop that album in like November of 2023, and so a year, you know what I mean? Um, uh, Yeezy, or you know what I mean, Ye, and Ty Dolla Sign, because they had their joint album. So yeah, so but Future Metro Boomin, best live performer, Missy Elliott. Missy Elliott must be on tour, right? And she must be doing a really good job. Yeah, I mean, in terms of live performers who's nominated on here, there's a lot of names. Travis Scott is a phenomenal live performer. I seen him in December, crazy show. Drake does his thing. Burna Boy, Busta Rhymes, Cardi B, Glorilla, Meg Thee Stallion, Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj puts on a good show too, and I felt like everybody was loving those concerts. I mean, when she was on tour, but I guess Missy Elliott was killing it, so good for her. Lyricist of the year, Kendrick Lamar. Wasn't really nobody. I mean, he beat Drake, obviously. Like he's gonna beat Drake. You know what I mean, like let's just, like in this year, what he did, he's gonna beat Drake in anything. But then nobody else really stands a chance. Video director of the year, Dave Free and Kendrick Lamar. Song of the year, Kendrick Lamar for Not Like Us. Hip hop album of the year, and this is why I'm gonna have a critique on the music scene in a second. But no, good for her though. Nicki Minaj won for Pink Friday 2. Okay. But when we think about what came out? All right, Gunna dropped One of One. Drake's For All the Dogs, Glorilla, everything. Meg Thee Stallion, Sexy Red, and Sexy We Trust. Travis Scott's Utopia. Utopia should not be nominated though. Yeah, I mean for album, because Utopia came out July of 2023. So like I feel like shouldn't even been nominated. Hip hop artist of the year, Kendrick Lamar. 21, Drake, Cardi, Nicki, Future. Okay. Breakthrough hip hop artist of the year was Sexy Red, right? Sexy Red. Now, some of these other names, so 301 Baby, Lady London, Cash Cobain. I thought Cash Cobain was a breakout. Tommy Richmond was nominated. Tommy Richmond himself has said that he's not a hip hop artist. So I don't know about that. 41. I don't know what 41 is. Um, but the name that to me, Cash Cobain, I think could have won, because I think Sexy Red was a breakout last year. I don't know if she was a breakout this year, but let's give it to her. Let's give it to her. But the other name I would say was probably be Boss Man D-Lo. He's had a big year, man, and got viral dances and whatever. I would also say guys like, and maybe they haven't broken through, but like Big X the Plug, who's the Mexican boy, the Mexican rap, like he's somebody that's kind of broken out, but like maybe it's only in like small pockets. Hustler of the year was 50 Cent. He went against Fat Joe, Cam and Mace, Cardi, Glorilla, Kendrick. I don't understand what that word is, but 50 winning it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? And then Sweet 16, best feature verse, Kendrick Lamar on Like That. J. Cole got nominated for first person shooter. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I agree with that. Impact track, Not Like Us, Kendrick Lamar. Best international flow. I don't know who Gets is. These are like rappers. These are like foreign rappers, and I don't know any of these guys. I don't know any of these guys. DJ of the year, The Alchemist. The Alchemist, right? And then producer of the year, also The Alchemist. Now, people were upset about this. They were like, well, over Metro? Over Metro? So Metro did drop 2 albums this year, right? And obviously with Future dropped a second album, and probably Metro's probably all over that. But like The Alchemist actually did have a big year. The Alchemist kind of like he kind of worked with a lot of different artists that he probably you wouldn't normally see him working with. He did produce and made the beat for Meet the Grams, right? And that was probably the hardest. That was the most Other than Impact was definitely not like us, but like the most evil track of the Drake and Kendrick beef was Meet the Grams. But he put his own album out, like a compilation joint, and then he was a part of a couple different albums, and then hip hop platform Club Shay Shay. Now Club Shay Shay, I wouldn't really call that a hip hop platform. I like what Charlemagne the God said. He said this is a cultural, like it should be like for best cultural podcast and like or platform, and like Shay Shay would win that. But for hip hop platforms, I still would go Joe Budden podcast or $1 million worth of game. I would or maybe even Drink Champs, but like definitely JBP or $1 million worth of game should be that. So those are the award winners, the big award winners. What I want to say though is about music has been in 2024. Music has been trash. Music has been ass. And we are feeling the effects of Drake not being as prominent. Like, I mean, Drake ain't never gonna fully fall off, but like we are feeling the effects of him not being as prominent, and it's not even just about him making music, it's about him hopping on tracks. It's about him possibly discovering or promoting or pushing a new artist that we never heard of. You know what I'm saying? We wouldn't, yeah, I mean, we wouldn't be on the little baby bandwagon, you know what I'm saying, if it wasn't for him. Or I'm thinking even like, Lil Durk has always had a fan base, whatever, but like, big tracks with Lil Durk, like put him out there. Drake was always kind of at the forefront, you know what I'm saying? And just kind of like, yeah, again, he don't I wouldn't say he made certain artists, but he definitely helped to shine a light on certain artists and helped it to grow. And like also just the sound, like he kind of dictated the sound. Hip hop don't really, and it might be good, maybe it's good that we have like a clean slate, but like hip hop don't have an identity right now. All hip hop is it feels like yeah, it's Kendrick Lamar. It's not like us. You know what I'm saying? But like who else? Like, there's no like that was the only competition that we got. I think if J. Cole would have stood on business. Now, I don't know if y'all noticed that, right? When the Might Delete Later album or mixtape, whatever you want to call it. Remember, he took off that last track, the diss track. He put. I don't know. It's been a while, like because they said they took it off. They put that joint back on there, whatever. But I think if J. Cole stays in the beef, stays in this conflict, we would have got a lot better. We would have got more music. We would have got more people kind of coming out. Now, people did drop albums. Like it did make people want to rap, but like nothing has really stuck. Nothing has really stuck. It's like people listening to older tracks. They not really listening to new stuff. Somebody like Big Sean did drop, but like Big Sean dropped at the wrong time. Like I feel like he dropped at the wrong time. You know what I'm saying? He dropped his album, I feel like right around the time when Kendrick Lamar was like dropping like Not Like Us video. You know what I'm saying? So like yeah, so there's a couple artists that like probably have done well. I did listen to Big Sean's album. It's pretty, it was good, but it's one of those things where it's like, is it gonna stand the test of time? I gotta listen to Glorilla's album. I heard Glorilla's album is hard. So I am gonna listen to that. That's probably that might be the next thing that we talk about on next week's episode. But like hip hop in general, man, it is we kind of going through a little bit of identity crisis right now. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of been like that. 2023 was not good either. 2024, it started out great because we had all this conflict. And then now it's like, now that the beef is over, it just feels like, there's a void there, and we need people to fill the void. That's why, we got the guys like Bossman D-Lo. We got rappers like Glorilla, even Sexy Red, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like just, but it's not enough. Like we need the big hitters. Even though the big hitters are dropping, Ye is dropping, it's not doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? But what do y'all think? What do y'all think? Last thing about the hip hop award, BET hip hop awards. Travis Scott won. He was honored. He won the I Am Hip Hop Award at the BET Hip Hop Award. So it says here, uh, Travis Scott accepted his I Am Hip Hop Award at the 2024 BET Hip Hop Awards in Las Vegas. The hip hop polymath received the honor after his decade plus of wins and achievements in the rap space as a hitmaker and producer. Presented by Brisk, Tiana Taylor and Travis Scott's epic label mate Tyler were on hand to present him with the award. Says, I come from, and this is what Travis said. He says, I come from a generation where they consider us nowhere near hip hop, said Travis during his acceptance speech. Every day I try to push the sound. Coming in as a producer, nobody knew what I was trying to do, but I always had this idea and I had this vision, still to this day, to take the sound and take things to the next level. I'm just so glad that we made it this far. So like when you think about Travis Scott, they talk about here, they're giving off his stats. He's credited to 100 plus Billboard Top 100 entries. Two big albums. I mean, Astro World. He got Utopia. I mean, his first album was a smash. His second album, to me, is like it's one of my favorite Travis Scott projects. He had compilation albums. He dropped a collab album. He's discovering artists, you know what I'm saying, and putting artists on. Don Toliver being one. So like Don Toliver is straight off of the Travis Scott tree and doing really well. The first time I ever heard Gunna was on the Travis Scott song. So he's doing his thing, man. He's doing his thing. Uh, it's funny because a lot of people they still don't really understand like the Travis Scott hype. Travis Scott has been one of my favorite artists probably since his second album. You know what I'm saying? Like since 2016, like he's been one of my favorite artists. And so like I wasn't there in 2015 when he dropped Rodeo. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't there in the very, very beginning. Was that 2015 or 2014? But I've been around and yo, he pushes the needle, man. One thing about Travis Scott when he said like changing the sound, a lot of people look at Yeezus, the album Yeezus, as the album that really like started changing the sound, and they tout it for being like monumental and things like that. Well, Travis Scott wrote a lot on Yeezus. Travis Scott made a lot of the beats on Yeezus. You know what I'm saying? So like he was a little bit, even though I'm not a fan of that album, he was at the forefront of something that people in general revere as the album that kind of changed the landscape a little bit and like kind of ushered in a new sound for the future. But yeah, man, makes nothing but hits. I think he should have won a Grammy for Utopia. Or some. It's funny though because if you go to I went to two Travis Scott shows. Amazing performances, amazing performer. The only thing about Travis Scott's show is like his fan base is so large. It's like it runs from like little kids to like people a little bit older than me. And so like sometimes these concerts feel a little bit weird because you're there with like 8-year olds, you know what I'm saying? Like that went with their parents. And I'm thinking like, yo, Travis Scott really don't make like his brain is so big that people accept that, parents accept him as an artist, like, he's making content for their kids, whatever. But he don't really make content for kids. So it's a little bit wild there. But Travis Scott has become a full brand, man. He got, you know, a character on Fortnite. You know what I'm saying? He had his own meal at McDonald's. Like he's doing a lot, man. He's doing a lot. Sneakers. The Travis Scott drops, I mean, from Nike are some of the hottest drops. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's just like, yo, this. So yeah, he's definitely hip hop, man. He's definitely for the culture. He's definitely been pushing the culture. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad that he got some recognition, man. I'm glad he got some big recognition. There's a lot of people that have been honored with this award. Some people to name: LL Cool J, Lil Wayne, DJ Marl won last year. Um, some big names for sure. But what do y'all think, man? What do y'all think? I'm happy, and we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on. All right. All right, let's see what we got. What we got? All right, one quick thing I want to talk about with Diddy, and this is actually something that came out, but like kind of maybe got glossed over. And what I realized is that like sometimes I ain't gonna hold you, man. I'll be watching some of these hip hop platforms, right? I'll be trying to get some of the entertainment information from those platforms, but like they be a little bit behind because now people are talking about like what what was the deal with all that baby oil that Diddy had, right? The 1,000 bottles of baby oil. Now, what we're seeing is the latest lawsuit is talking about, and part of the latest lawsuit is talking about how he allegedly may have laced that baby oil with they call it a date rape drug, GHB, right? GHB. And it's something that basically like it knocks you out, it makes you weak, it makes you, you know what I'm saying? Like it's the date rape drug. Like women when weirdos drop this on people, women be passing out and be like out of it, unconscious. They be delirious, they be, groggy, like they lose their faculties, you know what I'm saying? So like apparently you can apparently like and whoever figured this out is whatever, but like they're saying that you could put it in something like oil and it can be topical. And if it's topical, it still gets into your system and makes you lose your senses a little bit, and then people could take advantage of you. So like that's crazy. It's crazy like what people be knowing and what people be discovering out here. But like, yo man, stay safe out there. We don't know for sure if it's true, whatever, but like it would make more sense. That would make a lot more sense to have 1,000 bottles of baby oil instead of it just being for free cost, because if it was laced with this date rape drug and it's discreet and it's things like that, that's something that like they weren't. What I come to the conclusion of is that he wasn't using those 1,000 bottles of baby oil. If it was laced with GHB, he wasn't using all 1,000 of those bottles. He was selling them bottles, and I'm sure dark web, anything that people that are into like wild stuff like that are into that criminality, they probably paid top dollar for a product like that. And so that was profit. That was money. Yeah, I mean, 1,000 bottles of baby oil. I don't know what you can charge for something like that, but like it probably is like a crazy amount, a crazy amount. It's probably sitting on a couple $1 million right there for real. So I don't know. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think? Do you think that's a real claim, or do you think that's like one of these things that's like just kind of made up and it's part of people's imagination? I don't know. I don't know. I'm not into that. I never had to take it. You know what I'm saying? So I cannot relate in that sense of like people using substances to have relations with women. You know what I'm saying? I can't relate, man. So let me know. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. All right, let's switch it up, man. Let's get into sports now. Off of music, off of headlines, you know what I'm saying? Let's get into sports. And this was something I was gonna show you last week, but then I found like I said, I got time this week. I got time this week. So the question is, what is harder to achieve? All right. So I want you to look at these scenarios and I want you to tell me what is harder to achieve. And this is gonna go into basically our classic, Michael Jordan versus LeBron James debate, right? So what's harder to achieve? 40,000 points or 10 scoring titles, right? So off the top of your head, what do you think is harder to achieve? Now, 40,000 points is a lot of points, you know what I'm saying? And you have to play a long time to achieve something like that. But to get 10 scoring titles, 10, 10 years, you were the top scorer in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? And we might think like, oh, well, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Even in LeBron has one scoring title, right? He's played 21 years. He has one scoring title. So if you're going to say automatically it's that's easier, I think I don't know. I can't say that. I mean, we have guys that probably won like two or three scoring titles, but like if everybody knows you're the man, right, and you score the most points, and defenses are keying in on you and trying to figure you out, figuring out ways to take you out the game and things like that, like that's what's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? So, but to lead the league, and then also people are competing and like maybe even padding their stats to try to catch up with you, but like you were able to do it 10 times. So what do you think? Let's watch this video and maybe your ideas change a little bit. So here you go.
Harder to achieve 10 scoring titles or 40,000 total points. In order to score 40,000 points, you need to average 24 points per game or 2,000 points per season for 20 seasons. Only 6 players have ever played 20 seasons or more in the NBA, let alone scored 24 points per game in each of them. The average points per game for
So damn, only 6 players have played 20 years. So like just off of like wow, like you know what I mean, to play that long is crazy. But yeah, let's keep going. Let's keep going.
NBA scoring titles since 1980 or since the three-point line was introduced is an average of 31.16 points per game. So to win 10 scoring titles, you need to average 31 points per game for at least 10 seasons in your career. With these parameters, only 2 players since the three-point era got close, Michael Jordan and Allen Iverson. AI only has 3 seasons with over 31 points per game. LeBron only has 1 scoring title when he averaged 30 points per game in 2008. From a pure probability perspective, both feats are equally as rare as only 1 player achieved each feat. Now, if we widen the parameters to allow players who got close, more players did get close to 40,000 points than they did to 10 scoring titles. Kareem is 5% behind the 40K feat, Karl Malone is 9% behind, Kobe is 17% behind, and Jordan himself is 20% behind. On the flip side, Wilt is in second place with 7 scoring titles, which is 30% away from Jordan's 10. Kevin Durant and George Gervin each have 4, which is 60% away. LeBron only has 1, which is 90% away from Jordan's 10. From a purely mathematical perspective, it is more likely you get closer to 40,000 points than you do 10 scoring titles. Which is harder to achieve? 10.
So, and that's the thing. So the argument, because the thing we can play semantics all day, right? So what's harder to achieve? I think they're both hard to achieve. You know what I'm saying? Because again, only one person has done each of those things. So they're both, like I said, they're equally as hard to achieve. You know what I mean? Based off of that stat. What's more likely to happen? Well, again, like they just from the statistics, right? We have guys that were close to 40,000 points. Will we see in somebody else score 40,000 points? I don't know. Because beating like somebody like beating Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's record, took like 25 years. You know what I mean? Took decades. And so, do we have somebody in the NBA right now that's doing that? Like, and here's the thing: you don't have to average that as a rookie, but like after your rookie season, you have to like turn it the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of what LeBron did. LeBron averaged like a low 20, like he averaged a low 20 points a game. You know what I mean? 21 points a game. And then he was 20, averaging 25 a game pretty much for all these different seasons. Now he did win one scoring title, but I don't know. It's wild that like only there's only 6 times has Jordan averaged 31 points a game, and the only other person that came close to that was AI. And that's the thing, that's the average to win a scoring title. Typically, you gotta score about 31 points a game. Jordan has some scoring titles where he averaged 30, like just under 31. You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't know, man. Scoring titles is tough, man. 10 scoring titles. Think again, George Gervin was one of the best scorers in his era. He has 4. Kevin Durant, we look at him as one of the greatest scorers ever. You know what I'm saying? And he has 4. You know what I mean? So like T Mac was the man. I think T Mac only has like 3. T Mac might have 2 or 3 scoring titles, and we looked at him as like, yo, he's the man. You know what I'm saying? AI has a couple scoring titles, 3 scoring titles at least. You know what I'm saying? We looked at him as the man, but like to get 10 of them things is wild. But like, you know, you could the thing is with the scoring titles, you could play like 12, 15 seasons and achieve that. But like your margin of error is mass small. You know what I'm saying? For the guy that averages or the guy that gets 40,000 points, he has to stay healthy for a long, long time. And that's a very, very hard thing to do. So like I don't know. I'm still up for debate. I think just the greatness of it, 10 scoring titles, like because that is like peak achievement. Peak achievement. You know what I'm saying? if we dug into Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's numbers and how he was the number one scorer for so long at 38,000 points, we'll probably see some seasons that weren't the greatest. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm going with this 10 scoring titles though, just because I'm riding with Jordan, but 40,000 points is no joke, and he has another. This might be LeBron's last year. Might be. If it's not, then if he plays after this year, no, nobody will break it. Nobody will come close to 40,000. Like nobody. Like, well, yeah, nobody's gonna come close to LeBron scoring all time scoring record. If he plays after this season, nobody's gonna beat that because ain't can't nobody play that long. Can't nobody play that long. But what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? All right. So let's get into football because I did want to talk about this is a big week in the NFL season in terms of transactions, and I'm just gonna double check here. NFL trading deadline. No, trading deadline. Trade deadline. When is the trade deadline? Bruh, trade deadline. Let's see. Okay. So we still got like 2 more weeks until the deadline. So the trade deadline is one day after the final game of week 9. So we're going into week 7. Um and we definitely well, let's see. They have a big trading block right out there right now as to like who are some names that could be traded. Um, so here's who's on the trading block still. You know what I'm saying? You got Deontay Johnson from the Carolina Panthers. This is the top 10. Bryce Young for the Carolina Panthers. Mike Williams of the New York Jets, and that has to do with what we're going to talk about. Jonathan Jones of the New England Patriots. He's a cornerback. Walker Little, offensive tackle for the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's on the trade block. Greg Newsome the second, cornerback for the Browns. And like, okay, wow, wow. He has one of those fully guaranteed contracts. That's crazy. Let's see. Hassan Reddick. I mean, yep, he's number 4. Buda Baker, number 3 from the Arizona Cardinals, safety. DeAndre Hopkins from the Titans, and then a man named Aziz Ajulari from the New York Giants. Let's see. Wow. He's only 24 years old. Wow. He's a big time player. But anyway, okay. So who I don't know. I don't know who's the top guy from that, but there have been some trades prior to the deadline, and this week was big on those. And we got two trades of two basically number one receivers. You know what I'm saying? Receivers that go in onto these teams and they become the number one guy. These are guys that have held it down in their careers and have multiple 1,000-yard seasons. And we're talking about first one is Davante Adams. Davante Adams to the Jets. All right. So the Raiders, right? What did they get? They got a third round. They got a third rounder, which is conditional, and it can turn into a second rounder depending on how well the Jets do. All right. Many people are surprised that the Raiders didn't get any players in return, right? They didn't get any capital. Like some people are feeling like, yo, Hassan Reddick should have got put into that trade, right? However, the big ticket, right, for the Raiders, like the reason why people might say that the Raiders won this trade is that the Jets are taking on all of Davante Adams' salary, right? And this does not really happen. So what happens typically is in an NFL trade, the team that trades the team, the team that trades the original player, right? They are still on the hook for their signing bonus, right? Like whatever the signing bonus was, and a lot of times it's spread out over a couple years. I mean, the amount is spread over the life of the contract. They are still on the hook for that, and then the new team it decides, all right, well, we're gonna take on the rest of the salary. The good thing about a trade is that though, since you don't have any signing bonus, right? Like you can cut that player right away and like you don't get any cap penalty. I mean, so like trading is beneficial to the receiving team always. It always is, right? Well, it's even more beneficial. Well, this is the opposite, right? Because now this has become beneficial to the trading team because the team so the Raiders they don't have to pay Davante Adams anything, and Davante Adams is still on the hook for a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? He signed a big contract with Oakland. I think he still got like 3 more seasons, 2 to 3 more seasons on this contract, making a lot of money. And so, the Jets had mad cap space. The Jets were spending money all off season, and they still had a lot of cap space, and they were able to land Davante Adams. Um, what I don't like about this is not so I'm a Green Bay fan. So it's not even the fact that they're like, oh, they're recruiting all these former Green Bay players. Like it's, Matt LaFleur called them Green Bay East, right? That's not what I'm mad about. Like I'm not I don't care. Like I don't, Rodgers, you know, like it's probably because we're good. Like I feel like the Packers are in a good place. We're in a new different direction. You know what I mean, we're out of that shadow. We're out of the Aaron Rodgers shadow. We're out of the Davante Adams shadow. You know what I'm saying? Like these players don't haunt us anymore. You know what I'm saying? What I'm mad about is the fact that like it's the collusion part of it. It's the collusion part of it. So like Aaron Rodgers is a bitch, bro. Like he is like I love him as a player. Like and I think he did well. Like I don't fully hate Aaron Rodgers or anything like that. Just like I don't fully hate Brett Favre, but I don't fuck with Brett Favre for real, for real. I don't fuck with Aaron Rodgers for real. I mean, like I still love him for who he is as a player. You know what I'm saying? But he's a bitch, bro. So a couple things, right? What makes him a bitch? So yeah, and Doug Gottlieb had this whole piece on this, whatever. But like Aaron Rodgers definitely lied about being part of the Robert Saleh firing. You know what I'm saying? Like you definitely had to be a part of that, man. You wasn't riding for him. You wasn't vouching for Robert Saleh. You know what I'm saying? So you was definitely a part of that, whatever. And then Davante Adams is a little bit of a bitch too because it's like, bro, you was not injured for the last 3 or 4 weeks. You was not injured. You faked an injury to make yourself a trading piece. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh well, you know what I mean? So you sat out of games. You know what I'm saying? Without sitting out of games. So like you didn't lose money, right? You didn't lose like, money because like because you had a designated injury, whatever. So like you played the Raiders, you know what I'm saying? Now, again, the Raiders, they get out of your contract and now they can rebuild and they gonna have mad money to spend. So I think next year their cap is like they're gonna have like $108 million to start spending for next year. So like they can do whatever the fuck they want now. You know what I'm saying? They ain't gotta worry about you. They don't gotta worry about even if they get a franchise quarterback that they gotta feed this star wide receiver who's aging, by the way. You know what I'm saying? Davante Adams is like 31, 32 years old. Like he's not young anymore. Like he's not the old Davante Adams. And like, say if he was injured, right? Like, or if he is getting banged up, like he not moving the same way. Like I think he still has potential, and him and Rogers have a connection that like he don't even need to necessarily know the full playbook. Like him and Rogers is gonna have some plays that they can kind of get off, and be successful. But I don't like the collusion. I don't like guys being able to like this thing where these players are teaming up with guys and like kind of dictating all these different pieces, whatever. And like I didn't want like the Raiders if they wanted to trade Davante Adams, that's fine. But I just didn't want him to land on the Jets just because I felt like y'all let them force your hand. But again, I feel like you did get a little bit for him. You didn't get a player and you didn't get high draft capital because I feel like nah, you giving us a first rounder. Is Devontae still worth a first round pick? Probably not. Probably not. You know what I'm saying? But you're probably going to get a second round pick, and then the fact that you don't have to worry about his salary is the big win. Is the big win. So that was big. That was big. And now that's why Mike Williams is on the trade block, whatever, because he's probably like, yo, what the hell, y'all picked this guy up. My quarterback Aaron Rodgers just threw me under the bus last week. So when they lost in the Monday night game, Rodgers said publicly that Mike Williams ran the wrong route. So that's what makes Rodgers a bitch too. Like, you know what I'm saying, like you was a part of the firing. You haven't been playing good. You know what I mean, like you still have to make plays, and you haven't been making those plays. And then you publicly threw your guy under the bus after you guys got another loss. And then what do? You orchestrate your friend getting your best friend back. And I think that's corny. I think that's corny. And then the other big trade that we saw was Amari Cooper to the Bills. Now the Cleveland Browns, it's a fire sale, man. It's about to be a fire sale. They're trying to figure out how they can get rid of Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson was the worst signing of this decade. He might be the worst signing of this millennium. I mean, of this century, right? Of the 21st century. It might be one of the worst signings. They gave him a fully guaranteed contract after he missed football for 2 years. He missed playing football for 2 years, and y'all signed him to a fully guaranteed contract, thinking that he was just gonna revive your team, but you haven't seen this guy play football. You know what I mean? This man has a nasty scandal under his belt, you know what I'm saying? And they're basically, I still been hearing whispers and rumors that he's still kind of up to his old tricks, whatever. So, and here's the thing. I have not heard Deshaun Watson speak since all that craziness. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really see him in interviews. He's just there. You know what I'm saying? I'm hearing that they might even trade Miles Garrett, you know what I mean? Just to really fully rebuild. And it's crazy because I think they have a decent coach. Kevin Stefanski is not a bad coach, but it's just crazy. So like the only, I mean, they have Njoku and they have, Chubb and stuff like that, but like Chubb is hurt, like it's they have a lot of things that are just going wrong for their team. But Amari Cooper, who's struggling this year because the quarterback play sucks, um, he gets to go to a contender, right? So since he was with Dallas, I mean, this is the first time he gets to go to a contender, and he's going to the Buffalo Bills, who the Buffalo Bills they were in massive need of they're massive need of a number one receiver. Khalil Shakir is hurt, and he might be out for a little bit. Keon Coleman, I think he has some potential, but he's still a rookie. He's a big body. He's not the fastest guy. He's not really, he's not creating that separation. All his throws to him are like contested. So they need a number one receiver. Now, does Amari Cooper still have does he still have some stuff in the tank? He's 30 years old, you know what I'm saying? Last year was his best year. Last year, he set a career high in receiving yards, and he was a big part of the Browns making the playoffs. And that's crazy. The Browns made the playoffs last year. Everybody was hype about the Browns. They got this roster that's pretty talented. They got a good team. They got a good team. And then now they're blowing it up. You know what I'm saying? Um, the Bills they have to pay, they're paying Amari Cooper like less than $1 million a year because when the Cowboys traded him, um, basically the Browns, they converted his whole salary into a signing bonus, whatever. So like it allowed them to dump him off to somebody, and the new team doesn't have to really pay him that much, whatever. So Josh Allen just got a number one receiver for pennies. You know what I'm saying? And so hopefully we'll see what that move looks like, whatever. But like if you have Cooper in fantasy, his stock just went up. If you have Davante Adams in fantasy, what he did was he might have made Garrett Wilson's stock go down a little bit. He might have made Lazar's stock go down a little bit. Rogers' stock rises a little bit. I think Devontae stays the same though. I don't think he goes up or down quite yet. And we'll see. We'll see what that looks like. And then the last thing with football is the Pittsburgh Steelers. The thing I just wanted to touch on the Pittsburgh Steelers. They are going to try now. Russell Wilson is healthy, and they're gonna try to give him the starting job. So what? The Steelers are Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh Steelers record. The Steelers are 4-2, 4-2, right? So people are saying like, "Yo, why would you change the quarterback now when this guy has led them to this winning record? Like, this is a bad move." Fields has been playing decent in as a game manager. Like this, like he is a game manager. As much as like I know he don't fit the mold of a game manager, like what Cam Newton said, but no, he is a game manager. Like he is out there to not lose you the game, even though he has high potential to lose you a game because of his playing style. He's not doing anything. He's not making the offense better. He's not making the team better. The defense is holding his team down. TJ Watt, Minka Fitzpatrick, they're the ones that are like leading this charge. And with Fields, although they're winning, although he hasn't committed a lot of turnovers. He does hold the ball a little bit too long. He takes too many sacks. And he does not give you any upside when it comes to downfield throwing, right? Like he does not look downfield. He might not, he don't have time to look downfield. Part of it is he don't really have time to look downfield, but he also don't step up into the pocket and he don't really have patience. Like he doesn't even look because there are wide receivers that are open downfield and he's not even able to look because he's check down or scramble. He does not go through his progressions, and I think they feel like they have some weapons, some vertical weapons. They got guys like they got George Pickens. They have a Calvin Austin, which on my dynasty team, I'm waiting for Calvin Austin to really break out because I think he can just because he has crazy speed. He's showing some glimpses, but they don't have the talent at quarterback to fully unleash somebody like that. So we'll see. But like it is wild, like when you're winning to make a change. But like Russell Wilson was supposed to be the starting quarterback, so you're not supposed to lose your job as a starter. And Fields just took it on the chin. Fields said, I had 6 games to as an audition and I didn't do enough. If he would have been if his numbers would have been a little bit better, like he had one really, really good game. If his numbers would have been better, then we would probably see him still as the starting quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers. But it was not meant to be. It was not meant to be. So we'll see. We'll see what's going on. My Packers are 4-2. We just signed a kicker, Brandon McManus. So he's a 11-year veteran. He long time played for the Broncos, and he's one of the first guys that was like to me in my that I remember that was hitting 60 yarders. Now, I mean, kickers go through these waves of like they're really good and then like they go to different teams and then they might not be that good. Um, I think it's just kind of putting your kicker in good positions, you know what I'm saying? And just having the confidence. And it's just better than this rookie guy that we had, that Narvison guy. Man, he was missing kicks under 50 yards, whatever. So it's like you have to be at a level where you're automatic from you got to be automatic. 30 and 40 yard field goals got to be almost automatic. Even long 40 yard field goals, 50 yard field goals, a little bit margin of error. But we need guys that can at least can get the ball 60 yards and that we can trust if we have a 53 yarder, like it's a hit, it's a makeable thing. We had a guy that can't make a 45-yard field goal. Can't make a 43-yard field goal. He was missing short ones. So it's like we can't trust him. So watch this Narvison guy go to another team one day, one year, and he's gonna go crazy. But we'll see. We'll see. But I'm happy Packers back on track. Romeo Dobbs came back, 2 touchdowns. Watson was back. The only guy that we're missing right now is going to be Dontavian Wicks. And one thing I did read about the Packers is the fact that since we do have so much depth, like we're able to like guys, if guys get hurt, guys are able to kind of sit out a little bit. I mean, on some like load management. They actually use that word in the article, load management. And I'm thinking like, oh snap, like load management in football. But if you have the depth and you don't have a clear number one, other Jaden Reed is our number one, but he don't have like a ton of volume. You know what I'm saying? He don't get a lot of throws to him, a lot of catches, but like whenever he gets the ball, he does something with it, something great. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We're able to kind of rest guys and get guys healthy when guys go down. So that's good. But looking to go 5-2 after this week though. All right. Let's wrap this up, man. Let's get this to the end here. Our last topic, we're gonna talk a little bit about Love is Blind. Love is Blind. And I did touch on it last week, right? And I was like, I had just like started it, like, and I was just at the pod stage. And I said probably in the beginning of the show, like, I don't know how people are able to watch all these episodes in a week's time. Like, it's possible, but like when you making content and when you doing stuff, it is hard. It's hard. Like I don't just have like multiple hours to just veg out. Like I'm doing stuff. So I am a little bit behind, but shit is getting real now. The pods is boring as hell. Like I'm over the pod stage. Give me Love is Blind. You matter of fact, you don't even got to give me the pods no more. Like maybe you give me a summary or you just tell me that these like it is interesting to see the pods because it's like, how did this person bag this person? But like, I don't know what they got to do. I think they've been trying to condense it down, even though I feel like they kind of stretched it out this season. Like we was in episode 4 and there were still people in the pods. Like the pods used to be like 2 episodes. You know what I'm saying? 3 episodes at the most. This one, we had like 3.5. But anyway, so shit's getting real though. Shit's getting real. We got the couples, right? We do have some couples that ain't probably no longer with us. But like 7 couples kind of said, like, yo, let's do this, right? Now we'll kind of go from the bottom up, whatever. And I just want to talk just a little 2 cents about a couple of these couples. And mind you, I'm behind, so I don't know fully what's going on, but we'll see. But like the last couple I'll say, like the first couple I'll say is actually Leo and Brittany. And this was the girl that said that she dates rock stars and athletes. And this was the guy that said he was an art dealer and didn't want women to know he did that because he didn't want them to want him for his money, right? So those two train wreck, right? When she saw this man for the first time, she was like, "Oh shit! Like, what did I do? Like, he's not my type, right?" She just said she dates rock stars and athletes, right? So like, she is used to men that are probably a little bit like, not only are they the top of their game or popular, like they're probably attractive men. You know what I'm saying? That she's going after. So like, this guy just being kind of like a regular guy, even though he got some bread. Um, yeah, he was not it for her. He was not it for her. Um, I'll say, and again, I'll probably talk about the couples that I don't really got much to say about. Taylor and Garrett, that's the girls who is like she has some Asian descent. I don't know how to what percentage, but she definitely looks Asian, and she has an Asian mom. Her name is Fong. And Garrett is like physicist. He's a smart guy, whatever. He's kind of boring. I don't really have anything to say about them as a couple. I mean, I don't really have any opinions about them. Um, Ashley and Ty. Oh no, Hannah and Nick. Let's go Hannah and Nick. So I had the most to say about them. Hannah and Nick. Yes. It's funny because Hannah was on the fence. She, a lot of people did not like her from the beginning, like from the pod stages. I mean, she seemed to be down to earth, I guess, and I guess she was okay, cool, whatever. And this guy Nick was like a smooth ass talker in the pods, you know what I'm saying? And he was bagging a lot of Jones, or like he was getting a lot of women like, in their feelings and flustered, whatever. Now, it says what I put here. So yes, Nick did play football. And when she first sees him, she feels like she kind of made this insinuation that he might have lied about his looks, whatever. She was like, "Yeah, he said he played football." And I was thinking like, time out. Did you not hear that he said that? Like he made it clear. He made it clear that he was a kicker slash punter, right? So for ladies, if a man tells you that he plays for professional football and he tells you that he's a kicker or punter, you should not expect him to be the greatest athlete, whatever. Like Sure, he can kick the ball, whatever, but like a kicker and a punter, those is the most regular bodied athletes in the world. Now, there are not, I'm not saying all of them. I mean, there's probably some that are jacked. I remember there was a punter that was like kind of big back in the day, Turk or whatever. I think he used to punt for the Dolphins. He was a big guy and like he would make tackles and stuff like that. Sebastian Janikowski, he was not in shape, but he was a bigger guy, fat kind of actually. You know what I'm saying? Um, but yeah, like we don't really see kickers, and they're usually these skinny little guys, frail guys. We don't want them to get hit too much, you know what I mean? Whatever, because they can't really sustain it. They don't even really wear full pads. Like they don't even their shoulder pads are smaller than regular shoulder pads. They probably don't wear too much padding in their legs, all right, because they need to get that flexibility and that swing when they're kicking. So like when she was surprised and that he wasn't that tall and what he's like 5'11. When she said that, I was thinking like you did not listen because he said he's a kicker and he don't got to be big to be a kicker. So they're a little bit weird. She definitely has some insecurities. He definitely has some player ways a little bit, and she's a little bit embarrassed and just insecure in general. I feel like Ashley and Tyler. So it does seem like they're a decent couple, whatever. But the big bombshell is the fact that this man has some undisclosed kids. Now, on the show, he said that like basically he was a sperm donor and like, he was helping somebody have some kids. But then, like, yo, the internet has been interneting, right? And they've been digging into this guy, and he got 3 kids, and like he got pictures with these kids, and these kids know him as their dad, and I'm hearing that he might owe some child support. Like it's wild, and so this is probably the most ghetto. This is the most ghetto contestant on Love Is Blind. It was wild when we had a single mom, but at least she didn't have no controversy. You know what I'm saying? She was just a single mom and she actually looked pretty good. But this season, the fact that we got a dude that like never said nothing about his kids throughout the pod stages. It's not until like, him and Shorty is like, after the honeymoon and like they kind of living together. It's not until then that he kind of even reveals, and he said he had some maybes. He don't even like really claim the kids. So like it's just bad, it's bad taste because I mean you lying about your kids. Um you lying that you have kids and then you lying on your kids, you know what I'm saying? So it's like it's just crazy. It's just crazy. Um Marissa and Ramses, they saying that Ramses is like the villain. So I didn't get here yet either, but they talking about how he said something about he don't like wearing condoms, which I mean, like, all right, we men here, like we're men. A lot of men are watching this. Like, do we like to wear condoms? No. Do we is there a purpose for condoms? Absolutely. Should we wear condoms with people that we don't really know or like people that we're not committed to? Yeah, we probably should. We probably should. Um, I don't know the context of that, but if she was maybe making an indication that like she wanted to wear condoms while they were married, that's crazy. That is crazy. So they making it seem like he's dirty and because he might have made some comment that like he hasn't worn a condom since his last ex-wife, and I think that's a lot. It's like a big period of time. So they making it seem like he been raw dogging for a decade or something and putting people at risk. But like what I wanted to say about them is that their styles actually match. Like when I mean they look like a good couple, like appearance wise. My thing is with Marissa, I don't want to call her whitewash because you could definitely tell that she loves being black and things like that. But what I would say though is that Marissa does not have she's kind of going through a little bit of an identity crisis, and she don't have an identity outside of her experience in the military. And so that is probably like a untalked about or a talking point that's not talked about enough, and how people that are in the military, like that becomes their personality. That's all they start to talk about. That starts to shape their whole worldview. And like I don't mind. I don't hate on the first. I'm gonna say, man, shout out to if you were a troop, if you, I mean, if you risk your life or you was deployed and or your service, like I appreciate you for your service. The military is not for me, but the military is a good decision for a lot of people. I mean, it's a good business decision. It's a good life decision for a lot of people. For any young person that just does not know what they want to do, like they really don't know what they want to do, they are better off going to the military than they are, working odd jobs and chasing a rap career. You know what I'm saying? Like for real, like because you could rap while you're in the military for like I mean you can be getting your pen up while you in the military. You know what I'm saying? And then you traveling the world and you making guaranteed money and you're fully uh you're fully fed. You have your room and board. You got a roof over your head and stuff like that. And you could really run it up. I mean, once you get out, I mean, you could take the money that you've earned. I mean, you have opportunities. You have opportunities. So like, I think the military is great. It is great for like the opportunities that it provides. I don't think it's great necessarily of how it kind of changes people. Like, and again, like when we talk about like their world views and stuff like that, like it makes people like sometimes when that becomes your identity, yeah, I mean, for some people it makes you a little bit hard to be around. And I feel like she's kind of going through that because it's weird too because she's like super woke and progressive and like all about this and that, like anti-patriarchy, but then like you're pro-military and like the military is the patriarchy. You know what I'm saying? Like they follow patriarchal, it's not egalitarian, you know what I'm saying? It's patriarchal, you know what I'm saying? And just the customs and the rules and stuff like that. And so like I feel like she don't know where she kind of fits in, and like they had this one conversation where she's talking about the military, and she keeps double talking, and it just sounds weird. And I just feel like, oh damn, girl, like you don't really know who you are. And I felt like he was trying to be like, nah, like I ain't hating, I'm not hating. You know what I'm saying? But like, and she was just like ask all these qualifying questions, like, how do you feel about that? How do you feel about that? And he's just thinking like, well. I don't it ain't for me. Like I don't fuck with it, you know what I mean? But like good for you. You did it. I ain't trying to judge you. But like it was almost like she was fishing judgment out of it. Like she wanted him to say the thing. You know what I'm saying? So that's them. And then two more couples, Alex and Tim. Hopefully I get to an episode where they kind of reveal what was that argument because boy was not feeling her. He was not feeling her. He was talking about he was ready to go home and he wasn't gonna look back. So I don't know what she said. Um the only thing with him to me, I mean, he might have a side to him that we don't know, but the one thing with him is like, I don't know how I forget how long ago he lost his sister, but like that's one of those things too. Like when you let like he that was like the focus of it. Now if it just happened, then I feel bad. But like I feel like all he kept talking about was his sister and things like that. So his deceased sister. And so like, when you let your traumas and your grief become you kind of get hard to be around. But at the same time, she must not be very respectful, you know what I'm saying, whatever, because that's what he kept talking about. He kept talking about disrespect and her not listening and just I don't know. It was a little wild. And then last couple, Monica and Steven. So Steven is a weird guy, man. Steven is like, he has some type of percentage of black in him. He's dating this bougie black woman though, you know what I'm saying, who's kind of like on many levels, she's kind of whitewashed, you know what I'm saying? Like she gives off whitewashed. So like maybe they are actually a perfect couple because she definitely seems like the type that dates white men. And like so, and then like he has this like affinity now for black people, whatever. So I mean, maybe they do fit. It already seems though that they don't get along. Like it did seem like they were like, oh man, they really are feeling each other. Well, she don't. He talks too much, man, and like he called himself chatty one time, but like nah, like this guy be talking in circles, and be like, he says the wrong things. Like he says too much. Like he's an oversharer, and he be going in circles. Yeah, I mean, with some of his explanations and stories, and like he just be saying some wild stuff. And like she is like, she definitely wants a dude to trick on her. Like she making it seem like, oh, I just want to feel special. Like, no, you want somebody to drop that bag. And you talk about how good of a man he is because he seems to be well rounded and he's nice and things like that. But like, nah, you're a taker. Like you want and you need, and he might not be the guy that's gonna give it to you. Now, apparently, like in later episodes, some things come out about him that are a little bit shocking, but we'll have to see when we get there, though. But what do you think? What do you think about this week? What do you think about this week's episode? I mean, we talk about Love Is Blind, talk about these big NFL trades, the BET Hip Hop Awards, Diddy Wildin', and then I think I started off with talking about what's harder to achieve, 40,000 or 10 scoring titles. 40,000 or 10 scoring titles. And then definitely talked about Diddy and his GHB Wildin', you know what I'm saying? And then talked a little bit about my son, man. Caught y'all up with what's going on in my life, man. But if you're still watching at this point in the episode, man, what I need you to do right now, I need you to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. I need you to leave a comment. I need you to share this right with anybody. You know what I'm saying? Join the conversation. Let's help the platform grow. You know what I'm saying? We cooking, we still doing our thing. Halloween is around the corner. You know what I'm saying? But this is episode 167 of the 280 Plus podcast. I'm your host, Los Def, and I'm out, y'all.